Good morning. It's Thursday, August 27th, and we're going to continue our discussion on action and pragmatism with a prompt from the Daily Stoic which reads, "Where can I learn to laugh rather than cry?" So like many Houstonians waking up today, I wasn't in the mood for much laughter. These last couple of days have been a roller coaster of emotions related to Hurricane Laura. First, there was the initial worry that came with the early meteorological projections showing the storm's projected path. And then there was the more calmed acceptance of events occurring beyond my control. And finally, the relief that came as I saw that Houston would be spared much of a blow at all. But next came the logical conclusion that if Laura had veered off course from our city, that it was necessarily headed towards another. The southwestern areas of Louisiana would not be so fortunate. And as I got ready to crawl into bed last night, I flashed back to the same day exactly 3 years ago, when I lacked the security of what I would wake up to here in Houston as Hurricane Harvey ravaged our city. I remembered waking up and watching the water level rise the next morning, encircling my house, which fortunately was built on pier and beam for exactly this reason, as it appeared like an island floating in the middle of a body of water. And thankfully, the rain stopped and the water level began to recede before more than just my garage could flood out. But I remember seeing the devastating effects as I, like so many others, pitched in the recovery efforts, the same kind that will be needed after Hurricane Laura moves through. And so the prevailing emotion late last night and again this morning is one that's referred to as survivor's guilt. My lucky break comes at the expense of others' bad break. That's nothing to celebrate. And it certainly doesn't seem appropriate to laugh, despite the message from today's meditation, in which Seneca writes, "We should take a lighter view of things and bear them with an easy spirit, for it is more human to laugh at life than to lament it." Ryan Holiday goes on to note that there is little purpose in getting angry or sad at things that are indifferent to our feelings, like a natural disaster, especially when those feelings end up making us feel worse. In fact, there's a fantastic story found in Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way, about Thomas Edison, which illustrates this point perfectly. 67-year-old Edison had returned home after a day's work at his laboratory when someone came to inform him that his research and production campus nearby was on fire. The chemicals contained within ignited a massive blaze that destroyed everything, with flames as high as 8 stories high. And he found his son amongst the onlookers and he said, "Go and get your mother and all of her friends. They're never going to see a fire like this again." Then, trying to calm his son, he said, "It's all right. We've just gotten rid of a lot of rubbish." What an incredible response and perspective. Despite the remarkable disaster, he turned it around and recovered in remarkable fashion, both mentally and financially. I would like to believe that if faced with similar challenge, I would strive to respond in much the same way. To laugh instead of cry when an event so clearly beyond my control has brought me an adversity. But here's the thing about these Stoic principles. They're standards to which you can only hold yourself, not others. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, be strict with yourself and tolerant of others. And by tolerant here, I choose to interpret that as having empathy towards others. And that's why we feel survivor's guilt right now. No, a more appropriate principle would be to remember right now would be to selflessly take action where we can. And so that's where I'll turn my attention to as information continues to come in. And I look for possible ways to help those less fortunate than we are here in Houston on this dry, otherwise normal Thursday morning. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.